40 agents running on one Mac Mini, no cloud, no servers, no monthly bill. Oh, and this thing runs my entire business while I'm on my day job. And I built this in about 5 to 10 hours a week. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly how the agent factory works, how each agent gets instructions, and how they talk to each other without me touching anything. I'm also going to fire one live on camera so you can see what happens in real time. And I'm going to show you the one mistake that almost wiped out my entire Notion database. Let's jump in. So here's what most people get wrong about AI agents. They think you need some massive cloud setup, clusters, AWS bill, a team of engineers. I'm running 40 of these on my Mac Mini, and you don't need a Mac Mini. You can use any computer as long as you clean it up, and it just sits on my desk. Well, first thing is install OpenClaw. If you don't know, Google it, run it one command on your terminal, and you're done. The way it works is that simple. Every agent is a cron. A cron is just a scheduled task with a payload. The payload tells the agent exactly what to do, what to fire, what to read, and what the output looks like. And think of it like hiring an employee and giving them one-page job description, except this employee works at 3 a.m. and never asks for a raise. And I've got agents handling my morning brief, my afternoon brief, competitor research, lead scraping, newsletter drafts, video strategy, content generation, script generation, engagement tracking, and each one has a specific job and it runs on schedule in Discord and Telegram or a database, which are the other ones. And here's the thing that makes it actually work. They're not isolated. Agent 12 pulls research that agent 15 uses to write script. Agent 23 tracks what's performing so that agent 26 knows what topics to double down on. I even have a tab for this. That's what I call it, the agent factory. It's not just 40 random bots, it's just a production line. Here's my shorts pipeline, and what this does, it scrapes a database. And a strategy agent actually queries more than just this. So you recall I have like an AM and a PM brief. Let me show you what that looks like. This is where my briefs are, but the point is every morning without fail, I get a brief. Every afternoon, I get the same brief with different news. Whether it's AI, what's happening in my space, it drops it in there. And the strategy agent looks at that, looks at my performance to see what's working, what's not. And it looks at the AM and PM brief to see what news is relevant. It looks at databases that I get data from, and it says what topics make sense for Chris to cover. And it just recommends 14. And then the script agent takes those 14 topics and actually writes 14 scripts. Now, these are just very simple. They're very short, 30 to 45 seconds, more or less. And this is a captions agent that just adds the caption afterward. I just go on my Notion content hub right here, and they get dropped, and I just open them and review. Does it make sense? And then finally just schedule. And I'm not going to go over every single one, but pretty much this does the same thing, except it looks at vidIQ, which is a different SEO. But long story short, every content cron follows the same framework. There's pull analytics, pull data from databases, and then strategize on that to choose the topics, and then draft those topics, and then I review. And I also have research crons that just all their sole purpose is just pull data. And then you see here daily ops. I have morning and PM briefs, and maintenance, stuff that breaks. It would be more complex if I wasn't organized. I have this calendar tab where I know when Erie's, my OpenClaw, what she's working on every day. I don't even check this every day, but if I wanted to, I can go in here and say, what are you working on? I'm thinking of adding a new cron. When does it make sense? And she can query it too, because she has access to this database. And she knows, like, I see this at 12 p.m. I'm not going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule it 45 minutes ahead. The 45-minute gap between crons was just a lesson that I learned the hard way because they kept failing. And that's the story for another section. I didn't build 45 agents in a weekend. That's just not how it works, but it's easy to create them. You do all this and in a day you can create 30. But here's what happened. My first cron, one agent, it would pull trending topics from Reddit every morning and dump them into a research database. And it took me about 30 minutes to configure, maybe 15 minutes. And honestly, it was bad, like embarrassing bad. The first version pulled 137 items from Reddit and 90% of it was just garbage. Memes about GPT wrappers, threads about prompt injection. It had nothing to do with what I actually would talk about. So I rewrote the payload, which is, again, the instructions for a cron. And I got more specific subreddits, added keyword filters, still terrible. But here's what I learned. Every failure just brought me a little bit closer. And by version 3, I was pulling 15 to maybe 10 items, what I could use. And that's when it clicked. The agent is only as good as the instructions. So then I just started building more. One competitor for YouTube analysis, one for newsletter drafts, one for engagement tracking. Each one went through the same ugly cycle. And you would build, break, repeat, fix, and repeat. And it took weeks. A lot of these are working. You can see some of them still error out. Some of them are new. Some of them just need more work. But the point is, it's going to take time. It is about learning the workflow. And first of all, understanding the process and knowing what you're going to create. If you're just going to create something random and expecting gold, it's just not going to happen most likely. One morning in February, one of my agents deleted like half my Notion database. Like I woke up and it was just gone. And a lot of my scripts were gone. And it was just a little bit too aggressive with the permissions. I just think I didn't have good instructions. And that was a notion that if things blew up, I could easily recover, number one, or it wouldn't be the end of the world. So I would just keep the really important ones just restricted to me. And this is what it looked like here. It was in my content hub. So this is for my long form video. Here's for shorts. All right, so you've seen how the system grew, but seeing the dashboard is one thing. Let me actually show you what the agent looks like when it fires. So here I have a terminal window, and I'm gonna copy and paste this command because I'm not even gonna lie that I don't typically do this via the commands. I asked Claude to help me. So we're gonna just fire here. And just as another tip, if you have an OpenClaw and you don't want to be using the same computer every single time, like if you want to run it while you're away, I use something called Tailscale. You should look that up. So anyways, I'm going to press enter. And what should happen, this is going to trigger my morning cron. And let's see what happens. So it's queued. So there you go. So the morning brief just got triggered. But that's pretty much how you fire a cron manually. The good news is that if you work with your OpenClaw, you can be like, hey, run the morning brief. That's the most logical way you would do it, because you don't want to go on the terminal. So there's two ways to run it. We'll look at this shortly. But you're probably thinking that 40 agents sounds like an overkill, and probably, honestly, like, it may be for some people. It just depends on your workflow. But here's what 40 agent actually gives me. I spent about 5 hours a week on my business just creating the content. And if you were to backtrack maybe 3-6 months ago, like I would spend all week just creating 7 shorts. I don't spend too much time on script generation. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the topics I'm gonna do. Like you would probably have to hire a VA or something to do all that. And so it saves you money. I mean, it does cost me money. I do pay I spent over $100 in API costs, but the net result is still cheaper than I would have had hiring a VA. But if you're starting from zero, you don't need 40. The first thing I would do is just go back to the basics. Just jot down your workflows and your processes and what is the most important, what is the most painful that you don't enjoy and you just want to hand off. And odds are the AI can do any of it. I'm talking even video editing, which AI now does for me, editing from beginning to the end. The sky's the limit now. And that's when you can start deciding what you can hand off to an OpenClaw. And once you nail that, it's just about starting slow, learning how the cron works, setting up the first one and building from that. Don't go to 40, don't go to 100, just build one. And the first one's gonna look ugly, like I did for Reddit, like I did for even my morning brief. So once you start learning how to do one cron and you master the fundamentals, how to build a skill for your crons and how to map them in the payload, which is like the instructions or the SOPs for every sub agent, then that's how you keep going from that one to that second to the third and so on and so forth. And if this is useful, subscribe. That's my agent factory, 40 agents, 1 Mac Mini, 0 cloud. So, and if anyone's thinking about OpenClaw, I will tell you it's one of the hardest things to learn because there's so much things that can go wrong. And I can only imagine it's going to get more stable because now OpenAI owns it. Build one piece at a time. It's not magic, and it's just showing up every week and making the next one just a little bit better than the last. And I'm documenting my whole build from zero, $47 lifetime revenue, no team, no editor, just me, my Mac Mini. And if you want to watch someone to actually build this thing from nothing, and as I continue learning more about OpenClaw and different workflows, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.